We just finished up with Friday Night Flies.
Yeah, now you know why we were racing out of the building so quick.
We were racing out to test out the BK Dragonfly Nymph. And that's what you're going to get from it.
Oh, baby.
Woohoo! Oh, that's a whale.
BK Smacker right there, baby. That's what it's all about.
Reach, buddy, reach.
Oh, barely fit in the net. Oh! There it is right there, man. BK Smacker right there. BK Dragonfly Nymph. Get this big boy going. Off he goes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Like we say. Oh, the sweet smell of success. Let's show him that BK Dragonfly again here.
Let me
Oh, you're gonna come over this way?
maneuver in here.
Baby, please. We're showing him no mercy tonight. Right there, BK Smacker, BK Dragonfly Nymph. We're about 5 fish deep already, man. Just been smoking them. How's that look, Scotty?
Looks good.
Anyhow, we'll get back to business. We only got about a half-hour light. Oh, baby. You rolling? Oh.
You.
There you go. What we're looking for. Little BK Dragonfly Nymph action here, Scotty. Hey, what's that, 5 minutes between fish?
Yeah.
We got this sucker dialed in. Pretty excited.
I didn't get my lines out. I got one out.
Oh, guys, after that. Slap. Oh, he's almost ready for this. He's almost ready. See if we can put him in there. See that dragonfly in his mouth, Scotty? Look at that, right there. Dragonfly for breakfast. Hey, dragonfly for breakfast, baby. Swing her this way. Come on, in there. In your home. Oh!
Punched.
It's better to throw them into the lake than wear them. Oh man. Anyhow, you got to see the fish. We'll slow that one down, you'll have a good look at it. Anyhow.
It was big.
It shouldn't take too long to get another one.
Peace.
Oh, sweet smell of success.
Stay tuned. We're going to show you how to tie the BK Dragonfly Nymph at the end of the video.
In Pemberton and Whistler surrounding area. The lakes they've come to life in the past few days. Ivy Lake turned over, I'd say about 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and they've been fishing very, very good. Last night I was out on a little lake just north of Pemberton, about 10 minutes, called Mosquito Lake. And for those of you that have not fished it yet, it holds some pretty big rainbows. Anyhow, last night, if we go down to the other camera, I want to get to what we're using. Are we there yet? We're getting there. Camera 2. Anyhow, this little fella is a dragonfly nymph. To what we're using. Are we there yet? We got sound. I could hear myself in the background there. Anyhow, this is a large dragonfly nymph. And if any of you have used a dragonfly nymph, they work really well. They're a staple food for trout in pretty well most of Canada. Wherever there's insects like mosquitoes and black flies and anything, dragonflies are going to be there too. And that's a good food source. So that guy there is about 1.5 inches in length, 1.25 inches. It's pretty big, but I mean I've tied him even bigger, up to 1.5 inches. And the best thing to do, what I've found, is when you first get to a lake, just go to the shoreline, and anywhere there is structure, I think I put that in the description, but anywhere there's just like structure, branches, logs touching the water, they love to climb up out of the lake and shed their husk. and then they fly away in the form of a dragonfly. These don't really look anything like a dragonfly, but they hatch into a beautiful dragonfly. Anyhow, we're going to get to, now that I've rambled along for a little bit, we're going to get back at her.
Still
Do a little time. Yeah. A 15-minute fly. Anyhow, we're going to try our best to get this hook out of Scotty's vise.
It's time for a new vise. Here, watch this. Sorry.
A little trick. Ah,
It's sliding back.
a little anvil. Anyhow,
Hey,
so what are we
8 years old.
it's 8 years old and it's had many, many miles. Oh, and what did we tie that thing on? I tied it on a big streamer. What size was that? I can't remember. I think it's a size 6 streamer hook. I'm pretty sure that was what it was. It's either a 6 or a 4. You can tie it on either a 6 or a 4. They're both very, very nice. And they work really well. So you anchor that fly down. Or the hook. We got black uni thread in 6/0. We're just going to anchor some line on there quick. Hopefully you can see me doing this. I do it at high speeds.
It just shows up as a blur.
Blur, yeah. So when the other guys are tying, you can actually see it. But when I'm doing it, it's like Superman speed. And scissors. I didn't put the material list in there, but there really isn't too much to it. So I'll do it as we're going.
We'll list
So-
it when we post it to Friday Night Five.
And we'll do it as I'm going. Super fly. They make great stuff. Anyhow, this is called mallard flank. And this is a very large mallard flank. And we've got it in wood duck color. Can you see that okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Perfect. So we take a little chunk of this wood duck mallard flank. And I take a little chunk off that feather. And this one feather will do quite a few dragonfly nymphs. Take it, stack her up. You don't want the tail too long, so you're probably going to go about the length of the curve of the hook, like from the section from the point back to the bend of the shank. Anchor it.
Yeah.
Anchor that sucker. I'd usually wrap that up, but it kind of messes with the wrap. And then I've got this great material. I grabbed a big chunk of it already cut off. I went to the local fabric store, and I don't know if you can read that, but it's Anchor tapestry wool. It's pretty inexpensive, but I mean, for the other guys that like to dub it, I'm not a big dubber, or I am a dubber, but this stuff works really well, and it's inexpensive. I think you can buy a spool of that stuff. It comes in 10-meter lengths, and they cost about $1.50.
Yeah, okay.
So
Okay.
for the amount of time that you're going to spend dubbing, this is a quick solution, and you're going to see it actually does a really good job of it too. So you want to bring it up about, I'm going to say, 1/4 of an inch from the end where we're lying there, and that's where you're going to build your thorax, the main body of your dragonfly, to that section, because you need to leave enough room to tie on them buggy eyes and finish the head. And with a big fly like this, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So you wrap that sucker up, pretty straightforward. There, wrap it.
I've got Mitch.
You can see this fly taking form pretty quick here. I hope it's staying in focus because I have a lot of stuff wrapping up on here. Get caught on my bobbin. And then you work her back.
How confused was the lady in the sewing shop when you went in?
You know what? She was pretty confused at first, but I did her a huge favor, and I brought it back up to her after I used it because she was like, "What the hell are you wanting all this stuff for?" I'm like, "We're tying flies. I'm tying flies with that wool?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" You go to a fly shop, you can't even find this stuff, and you can see it lays out pretty buggy too. And you just keep going back and forth over the body until you get it to the size that you want. How's it? Is it staying in focus? Because I'm bumping it a bit, but
Yeah, no, she's good. She was bringing out all because you bought the rest of that stuff.
Oh, did you go up and look afterwards?
Yeah, I went in.
I think
I
there's
was
been
like,
a few
"So,
people.
Brad was in here. He bought a bunch of stuff. I need to get the same, so you can't."
I cleaned them up.
Like,
I know.
he got
I
the rest of
apologize.
it.
So,
But she was bringing out all kinds of stuff. I'm like, could you use this? What about this? What about that?
yeah, it was. I think it was the sale of the day. I mean, I loaded up. Could have had a shopping cart full of this stuff. But you can see how it builds body up pretty quick. And they usually taper to the front a little bit. So, and at this point, this is a bit of a tricky spot because you see how there's a bit of a taper there. When you pull your wool off the end of it, it wants to race off. So you kind of have to trap it a little bit with your finger, go around it. We got some guests in the shop today buying their fishing supplies. They're just about to head out the door, so don't mind the noise in the background. But at that point, you lock her down, cut her off. You take your bobbin, make sure this is anchored good, and then you work your way back up it, like so. Because you want to kind of anchor it. But if you guys look on Google, you crisscross it going back the other way. You need to do it fairly tight too, because that's going to anchor it down. And at this point, level it all out. You can see the difference. I'll just roll it over and the nice pattern it gives. Can you see that on the back? Sexy.
And now, if you are going to use your Velcro strip and bug it out,
you can.
Be careful.
You can.
Because it will slide.
It will a little bit, but I mean, if you look at, I wish I had some dragonfly nymph pictures on there just to show people what I was talking about. But at this point, you take another chunk of that mallard flank, beautiful stuff again, separate the tip. Usually I'd do this early, but I was pretty busy in the store today. And I did tie a bunch of these today, earlier session. I was out, like I said, last night working a small lake over in Pemberton, and I fell in love with dragonfly nymphs last night. And the reason for that is I put a lot of fish in the net last night. So, word of advice, if you're fishing in the Whistler corridor right now, you are going to want a dragonfly nymph in your box. 100%. So you see what I did there? You just spike it back, and then you take that, lay it across the back, tie that tip in. I mean, you can spend as much time as you want doing this stuff, but I have never seen a bug that's perfect yet, especially not nearly as perfect as my wife. You're going to tie this guy in, wrap it around the shank a couple times, and don't worry about what it looks like at first, because you're going to see a little trick. I love the mallard flank. So at this point, you're going to take your and just wrap it in nice and pretty, and just lock it down. One hand. Take the excess off. I mean, if I wasn't tying this live, I'd be able to cut this back at the tie time. I mean, I was pounding these things out in about 2 minutes to fly. So they tie pretty quick. You take that, you peel it back a little bit, and lock it down. You notice when I wrap that down and I cut that little chunk off, leave it long at first until you have that feather locked down, because mallard flank has got a thick body in the feather and it's really stiff. If you try and cut it short and then pull it back, you're going to be dealing with a loose feather all over the place. So you can see that little button that's left here. I always leave that little nub until you're done, and then you take your cutter, clean it up afterward. That is the key to this fly. So at this point, when you look at a dragonfly nymph, you pull the feathers off to the side. Okay? Okay? You pull them off to the side, okay? Then you just hang on to it for a second. Roll it forward, smooth it all out, nice and pretty like. Then, I can't remember the name of that other, oh, where'd it go? It's on the loose.
What do I want for
I'll be right back. There it is. It hit the deck. So, I don't know if we can, maybe.
How can I share a picture?
It's screen share at the top left. It says screen share.
Ready, pinky go.
Anyhow, what was the name of this stuff again?
Chain.
Ready, pinky. Pearl chain.
Pearl chain.
Pearl chain?
Anyhow, this stuff is the best. I've used a lot of different bug eyes. There's a lot of them on the market. And my good friend Scotty here, Scotty Boulder, fellow fly tyer, explained it to me why this one works the best. And this is from a fabric store. You can get this stuff anywhere. See the gap between the eyeballs? It's a little bit narrower than the stuff that you buy in the store. And you'll see, man, this stuff is buggy. So when we throw this on here, just cut a couple off, and you're left with a couple eyeballs. At this point, see this little nub we've tied there? Man, I feel like I need a coffee or something. I'm shaky. Okay, at that point, pull back to that nub. Just do a few figure eights, going behind it, go in front of it, going figure eight, lock that eyeball down. Pretty straightforward stuff. In front, in behind, figure eight a couple times. You don't want those eyeballs moving. Okay? Okay. Peel them apart. You can have a look what we just did. I've got a little excess from the last feather in there. We'll just cut that off now so it's not confusing you. So, I mean, you could fish this thing the way it is right now.
Kind of looks like a pineapple.
It looks pretty, yeah, I want to eat that damn thing. Anyhow, so now, this is the fun part. This is where we clean it up. You take another little chunk of that green, what the hell do they call that stuff? Tapestry wool. Take a little chunk. You don't need much of it.
I just moved it. I just grabbed the picture and it went plunk.
Oh, it's still going. Okay, so anyhow, we've got a new guy on the operating table there. Quit messing with the screen, Scott. Anyhow, so sorry about that. If hopefully, how much of it did we miss there, Scotty?
Like 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Okay, so
You hadn't done anything yet.
okay, so now we're back in behind the eyeballs there. You got this guy in. Take it. You just want to fill in behind the eyeballs. You don't need to go too crazy. The thing is, they kind of taper out to the front. So you go around that side. Go back over. Back behind the eyeballs. And at this point, you want to just bring your thread back over. Lock it down. Right tight behind the eyes. You can see this is actually a pretty simple pattern to tie. And then we lock her down. I mean, a lot of people can use, you could use olive thread for behind the head, but to get your segmentation on the body and stuff, I mean, I just keep the thread the same color. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. And if you look at a dragonfly nymph online, you go to Google, they've got lots of really sweet pictures. But this little pattern is going to knock their boots off. If they had boots on, they would be bootless by the end of the night. Little whip finish behind the head. Take that, pull your wings off to the sides, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to roll it over. Oh, I cut that one a little bit long here. Hold on. Clean this guy up just a little bit. There we go, birdie like. There you go. How's that look?
Looking good.
And then we're going to show the side upside down profile, just in case fish are looking at from the side. And then we'll look at the bottom side, because like belly is always important. And then there it is, the other side, top. Anyhow, that there is the BK Dragonfly Nymph, and it comes with a fish catch guarantee in most lakes in British Columbia. So, did you do it again?
Nope.
Which one are we on?
I went to you're still on the bottom.
Okay, let's go back up to the top, and I'm going to sign out.
I tried to do a picture of the dragonfly, but I can't get it.
We're getting a little too teched out here. Which one are we on? We're on the bottom camera. Let's go back up to the top. Okay, there's the top one. Anyhow, we named this one the BK because my name's Brad Knowles, of course. And it's the Dragonfly Nymph. And we're going to put this thing to work tonight. Anyhow, we're going to sign out with that. Cut it.